Hello everyone, I welcome you all to the mathematics class. Our topic for today is fraction. And fraction simply means dealing with parts of a whole. That is, when we are not interested in whole number, if our interest has to be part of a complete, that is the sense upon which we talk about fractions. And what is required of students to know as far as fraction is concerned is many. So we shall begin somehow with the little aspect of it that the students at this level are required to know according to what? The syllabus. So before we progress to discussing those elements, so one major thing needs to be known. So, and that is what qualifies any number to be in fractional form. And that is a situation whereby we have this kind of stuff. Any number written in this form, that is, any number of these formats, is what we term a fraction. So it's usually going to be comprised of two elements, one above, one below. So the one above is usually known or identified as the numerator, while the one which we have below is what we call the denominator. So any expression of this form whereby we have 1 over the other one is what we term fraction. Another way of expressing the fraction is in mixed form. So that one can have this pattern. We can have something like 2 whole number 1 over 4. This one is combination of both whole as well as the fractional part. But the most important thing as far as the fraction is concerned is that the numerator, that is the element above, must be lower compared to the one below, that is the denominator. So when we have an expression of such a form, we can say that our fraction is a common fraction, or we can as well term this fraction in the simplest form, or what is also known as fraction in its basic form. So that is the general introduction we can give to fraction as far as this level is concerned. So out of numerous things which is expected of students to learn is the concept of improper fractions. And what we mean by improper fraction is a case whereby the element which we have above is bigger than the element which we have below. Remember, I stated it before that the best way to represent a fraction is going to be in its simplest form or in its basic form. So now to talk about the idea of improper fraction is a situation whereby it is not in its basic form. So what will make it not to be in its basic form is that the element which we have above will be bigger than the element which we are going to have below. So we are going to look at some examples. So example 1 now. Express each of the following as an improper fraction. So number 1, I have 4 whole number 5 over 6. Number 2, 5 whole number 3 over 8. And number 3, 8 whole number 5 over 9. So I will provide the solution below. So in number 1, what I have is 4 whole number 5 over 6. Expressing any number in improper form means we are going to follow some basic step. So, and the step is this: the denominator, we allow it to multiply the whole part of this number here, and the result we get, the result we have thereof will be added to what? To the numerator. So that process that I just talked about is how a mixed number can be converted or can be rewritten in an improper form. So to solve in this one means we are going to say that the denominator, that is 6, multiplied by the whole part of this number here, which is 4, and our result here plus the numerator which we have here. So everything now is going to be over 6. So, and the result that is going to give is this: 6 times 4 here gives 24 plus 5 over 6. And finally our result is going to be 24 plus 5 gives 29 over 6, which is the answer. So remember, what we are talking about is how do we write a mixed fraction in an improper form. So the definition to an improper fraction means the numerator, that is the number above, is going to be bigger compared to the number below, which we commonly call what? The denominator. So, and this is the simple solution to this one. So in number 2, what I have there is 5 whole number 3 over 8. If you can recall, we are going to see that converting this number to its improper form means I will pick my denominator, I will multiply it by the whole part of this number here, and the result gotten thereof will be added to the numerator as given in the question, and everything here over what? Our denominator, which is 8. So, and that becomes, we can see that 8 times 5 here is what? 40 plus 3, everything over 8. And the result of adding 3 to 40 gives 43 over 8. So it shows that 5 whole number 3 over 8 in improper fraction can as well be written as 43 over 8. Remember, for a fraction to be referred to as an improper fraction, it shows that the numerator will be bigger than the denominator. And lastly there, we have 8 whole number 5 over 9, and we can see to express this one as an improper fraction will be the denominator of 9 multiplied by the whole part of this number 8 plus the numerator which I have here, that is 5, everything over my denominator. So that gives, so we can see 9 times 8 here gives 72. So that will be 72 plus 5 over 9. And 72 plus 5 here is 77 over 9. So this is a simple procedure to expressing any number in an improper fraction. Now the next thing we are going to talk about is how do we express a number as in mixed form. What we mean by mixed form is that the representation of the number is going to comprise two elements, the whole element as well as the fraction, and it is only number written in improper fraction that are usually what? Subjected to what? Being rewritten as a mixed number. So for proper understanding of that, we also will have to do or to take few examples. So I will call that my second example, which is example 2. So there I am asked to express the following as mixed numbers. So the first one there, I have 26 over 9. Second one is 5 over 2. And thirdly there is 11 over 4. Now remember, solving this thing simply means we are going to break each of the numbers which we have here into two parts, into the whole part as well as the fractional part. What will make up the fractional part is what we have left after we carry out the division, as this question relates to. So solutions. In number 1, I have 26/9. So doing this means I will have to interpret what I have here. So 26/9 here means how many 9 can we get in 26? And we can see we are going to have how many 9 there? So that is 2 9. With the remainder of what? With the remainder of 8. So the remainder will be written as denominator. Then everything now over what? Over 9. Now in number 2, I have 5/2. To express this one as a mixed number, what it means is I should interpret what I have here. So we can see that we have 5/2, which simply means how many 2 can we get in 5? So no, we can get 2 there. Do we have any remainder? So whatever remainder we have will be written as what? Numerator. That is the numerator part of the fractional part of this expression, over while our denominator still serve as the denominator in this case. In number 3, what I have there is 11/4. Then the rest is also to interpret what we have here. So, and by interpreting it, we are going to say that how many 4 can I get in 11? We know that is going to be 3. So with the leftover of what? The remainder here is going to be 4 in 11. That's going to be 2. We know 4 times 2 gives 8, and the remainder there is going to be 3. So that remainder is going to be written as our numerator, everything here over 4. So that is another good thing that is of importance we talk about as far as fraction is concerned. So right now we are going to move to another aspect of it, and that one talks about how to express a number, any given fraction, in its lowest term, or what we can call in its basic form, or what we can as well term in its lowest term. So we're also going to take an example so as to address that. So example 3 now. Reduce the following fractions to their lowest terms. To their lowest terms. So number 1, I have 7/35. In number 2, 5/100, and in number 3 is 48/60. So the solutions there. So what expressing any number to their lowest term simply means is we should rewrite this number in such a way that they will have nothing common to them. Because when we observe each of the numbers, each of the fractions given to us here, when we compare the numerator to that of the denominator, we are going to see that there is a particular factor, there is a particular number which is common to both the numerator and the denominator. And the essence of what we want to do now is to remove those common terms, those common numbers, or those common factors. So once we are able to remove all these elements, then the fraction which we are going to have is what we call the fractions in their lowest term. So number 1 there, I have 7/35. When we observe this thing critically, we can see that 7 is common to both the numerator as well as what? As the denominator. So in that wise, this Solving this thing will call for what? Division. So I will say that 7 in 7 here is 1. And how many 7 do we have in 35? So when we go through the multiplication table, we are going to observe that 7 multiplied by 5 gives 35. So which means 7 in 35 is going to be what? 5. And the result that gives is what? 1 over 5. So that is number 1. In number 2, I have 5 over 100. Whenever we are asked to reduce any fraction to its lowest term, what the question means is between the numerator as well as the denominator there is a common number, there is a common factor, and as a result they want us to do what? To do away with those common factors. So which simply means we are asked to divide by such a common number. So when we compare 5 to 100, we are going to observe that 5 is common to both our numerator of 5 and the denominator of 100. So how many 5 can we get in 5? We know that is 1. 5 in 10 is 2, and 5 in 0 is what? 0. So the result that gives is what? 1 over 20. So which means 5 over 100 in its basic form, in its lowest form, or in its lowest term can be written as 1 over 20. Thirdly, that is lastly here, we have 48 over 60. To express this number in its lowest form, in its lowest form also means the same thing as in the two which we have done above. So what we are going to do in this case is we are going to cut it in such a way that there won't be anything common to both the numerator and denominator again. 2 in 4 here is 2, 2 in 8 here is 4, 2 in 60 here gives 30, and 2 in 24 here is 12, 2 in 30 here 15. So we can see 3 is still common to the 2. 3 in 12 here is 4, while 3 in 15 here gives 5. So 48 over 60 in its lowest term becomes 4 over 5. So, and that is the solution to that one.